Macron suggested that NATO should send troops on the ground. He was laughed at and he fell silent. But now, an unlikely hero emerges with the same war cry. We will tell you all about it, but before that, if you're a fan of non-corporate funded free news and analysis, you have landed on the right YouTube channel. We publish 3 videos a day, first at 9:15 a.m. EST, second at 1:30 p.m. EST, and the third at 5:30 p.m. EST. So next time the YouTube algorithm leaves dirty dishes in the sink, start using its laptop as a tray for your snacks. Okay, let's begin. In a scene straight out of a B-grade action flick, French President Emmanuel Macron turned heads at a gathering in Paris, suggesting Western boots might hit the ground in Ukraine. Surrounded by European bigwigs, Macron's pitch had the thrills but lacked the backing, making for a spectacle of strategic ambiguity, a fancy term for decision-making paralysis. As Macron passionately argued against a Russian victory, attendees including German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Polish President Andrzej Duda seemed more inclined to nap than clap. Macron's action hero moment didn't quite translate into the coalition of the willing he might have hoped for. The ideas seemed to fizz faster than flat champagne, with leaders from Germany to Poland and beyond quickly distancing themselves from the notion of sending troops, opting instead for a stance that might be summed up as, "Let's not and say we did." Even Russia's Dmitry Peskov got in on the act, warning of dire consequences with the gravitas of a born villain. The collective Western response, a mix of backpedaling, clarifications, and outright rejections, suggesting Macron's rallying cry might be better suited to fiction than foreign policy. But Estonia's iron-willed Prime Minister, Kaja Kallas, was watching Macron with sympathetic eyes. She knew what he meant and what it meant for Europe's future. Kallas, who in the past had expressed interest in becoming NATO's next Secretary General, among other things, appeared extremely distraught. She has been hurting Russia in her own ways by, demolishing Soviet-era monuments to erase its Soviet past, an act that earned her an arrest warrant from Moscow. Now that France was rejected, down and out, flames jutted from Kallas's nostrils as she declared war on Russia, and things are going to turn very bad for Vladimir Putin. A regime change, complete annihilation, everything is now on cards. Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas said everything is on the table to help Ukraine beat Putin, days after French President Emmanuel Macron caused a storm by hinting that sending ground troops to help Kiev was a possibility. An Estonia versus Russia war. Who would have thought? Imagine, if you will, a David versus Goliath rematch, only this time David has misplaced his sling and Goliath is not just a giant but commands a military behemoth with the firepower to make Mars reconsider its hostility. The stage is set not in the valley of Ila but in the landscape of Eastern Europe, where Estonia squares off against the Russian bear. Imagine Prime Minister Kallas standing atop Tallinn's medieval walls, declaring Estonia's bold stance. Meanwhile, in Moscow, the announcement causes President Putin to spit out his morning tea in disbelief, wondering if his translation app malfunctioned. On paper, the matchup reads like a typographical error. Russia, with its 1.32 million active personnel, stares across the battlefield at Estonia's valiant 7,700. The sky is dominated by Russia's 4,255 aircraft, contrasts starkly with Estonia's modest fleet, where pilots must take turns due to shortage of helicopters. Russia's parade of 14,777 tanks will face an awkward silence on the Estonian side because the concept of tank hasn't reached there. The naval showdown isn't much of a contest either. Russia's vast fleet sends ripples across the Baltic, while Estonia's 10 vessels might adopt a strategy best described as hide and seek. I'm sure Kaja Kallas has grown up hearing quotes like, "It's not the size of the dog that matters in the fight, but the size of fight in the dog that matters." But it's not a fight between a Chihuahua and a Bull Mastiff. It's international politics, god damn it. Estonians are good, gentle people, and Kaja Kallas should not embarrass them any further. Kaja Kallas should stick to breaking monuments. She's quite good at it. Want to know which monuments the Estonian Chihuahua is breaking? Watch this video. You'll be shocked.